Hey, it's me, Kristen again, and I have a little appetizer that I wanted to share with you. I saw this on Pinterest and it looked really interesting to me, so I wanted to give it a try. Don't these look fabulous? So, without further chatter, let's get going. So, in a small bowl or a medium bowl, I'm going to put just a little bit of cream cheese. I will have this recipe listed for you in the description box so you can have the accurate measurements, because I'm just going to talk you through this real quick. And then that's a half a cup of defrosted spinach. And then I'm going to put in a bunch of feta cheese. I should have chopped up the spinach more. I had it frozen in the freezer and I defrosted it and I squeezed out all the water. That is very, very important, or you will have wet mozzarella sticks. And so, make sure you do that. But I should have chopped up the spinach a little bit more, and it would have made it a little easier to eat. So if you make this yourself, keep that in mind to chop up the spinach. And also, my daughter was like, we should put some artichokes in here too. And I was like, yeah, why didn't we do that? It wasn't in the recipe, so that's why. But next time I make these, I'm going to give that a try too. And chop those up really well too, so that when you're eating the mozzarella stick, it's easier to eat. And then after you have all these items in a bowl, don't bother with a spoon. Just go in with your hands and mix it. As you can see, it didn't work very good using a wooden spoon. I wasn't getting very far. So if you make this, just mix it with your hands. It's just easier that way. It is a lot easier that way. And it mixes just so much better. Whew. So I'm going to put in a little garlic powder for seasoning, some salt, and a little bit of black pepper. And I'm going to try and go at it with the spoon again, but I'm not going to get very far. It's just too hard to mix it. It's even in the recipe, for the notes, they said, just mix it with your hands. It's just so much easier. So here goes the mozzarella cheese. You only need, maybe a cup or two, somewhere in there. Yeah. Oh, and also, that reminds me, in the recipe, I halved how much cream cheese I was using, because there was quite a few reviews on this recipe, and they said that the cream cheese flavor was a little bit too strong, and that's all you tasted in these. So it said to increase the mozzarella cheese and decrease the amount of cream cheese. So that's what I did. Excuse me. So I went from a spoon to a spatula. I'm still not getting very far as mixing this all up together. So I am going to get in there with my hands, or my daughter is actually here. She's doing it. She's mixing it up. And it came together a lot faster this way. So what you're going to do here is get it all mixed up. And then I used a 9x9 baking pan. We're not baking it. This is just going to go into the freezer for about an hour. So just dump it into whatever size you want, because keeping in mind, though, the bigger the dish you use to freeze the spinach dip, it will be thinner. So I wanted a dish that was not too big and not too small. I thought an 8x8 would be too small to put it in. So I settled on a 9x9, and it was fine. It was just, the sticks turned out to be just the right size. So after you dump in the spinach dip into the size pan, whatever you want to use, press it down to make it compact, and so it forms, a big kind of brick, if you will. So we're just kind of mashing it down, and then in the freezer for an hour. And in the meantime, I wanted to get, backing up here. Okay, now it's time to get it out of the pan. I didn't have any more parchment paper, and that was part of my problem, but I just went along the edges with a knife here, and it came out just fine, because as you can see, I was having a little bit of trouble getting it out of the pan. But, you know, just took my knife and ran it along all the sides of the pan, and it popped out just fine. I could have also used just a bread knife too. I mean, or a butter knife. You don't have, that's just what I had on hand. So pop, as you can see, it popped right out. It's completely frozen right here. And that means that it is ready to slice into sticks. So we're just kind of figuring out the best way to get the right size of mozzarella sticks. So just doing that. And actually, it sliced up pretty good. Zoom in a little closer there. So I'd say they're about an inch wide, maybe a little less, sticks. And I'm just going to cut along lengthwise like this. And then I'll just go through and just cut the whole thing in half. You'll see. And it turned out just fine. We had quite a few sticks here. And then I wasn't looking forward to this next part, but we're going to do the dredging part next. So that's never a very fun part of the process. So, yep, as you can see, I just go cut the sticks one way and then cut it in half the other way. And that looks about right to me. They may even be a little bit too big. Oh, so I have flour here. Maybe I think I did add a little bit of cornstarch, I think. Or maybe not. And then in the next dish there, I have a combination of regular breadcrumbs and panko breadcrumbs. That was another note, is people did that combination instead of just plain breadcrumbs because you got a little bit of a crunchier mozzarella stick. So first we coat each stick individually in the flour, then it goes into the egg wash, and then lastly it goes into the breadcrumb mixture. And you'll want to repeat this process and dredge all of your mozzarella sticks before you start frying. You should have a pan on the stove, by the way, like a cast iron skillet or a Dutch oven, just something that will evenly retain the heat. So you won't get some burnt mozzarella sticks. And you'll want to, after you've dredged each mozzarella stick, after I had like half of it done, then I stuck them back into the freezer to make sure they stayed really cold. Because if they warm up too much and start getting soft, then the cheese will just disappear and it'll be a mess. So you want to kind of work in batches in this and dredge half, put them in the freezer, and then finish dredging, and then put those back in the freezer and take out the ones that you already had in the freezer and start frying those. So that's what I did. And it worked out really well. You want to also make sure that your oil is hot enough. When I first started frying these, the pan wasn't hot enough, and so that means that the mozzarella sticks will soak up a little bit too much oil, and then also they won't brown enough before the cheese starts to ooze out. You know what I'm saying? So that was my mistake. My first couple didn't turn out very good. So I just took a pause. I put them back in the freezer and let the mozzarella or the oil come up to temperature. And you can drop some flour in, as you can see here. And you should have, when you drop your mozzarella sticks in the pan, there should be immediate bubbles and sizzling going on, just like this. Aggressive sizzling, that's when you know that your oil is hot enough. And so then they will warm up thoroughly and everything will be golden and crispy on the outside, and your cheese won't be oozing out and making a big mess. So just make sure that your oil is up to temperature before you start frying. Probably 350, I'm guessing. I didn't check, but again, this is just a shallow fry. You could also deep fry these too, but I'm just choosing to shallow fry these mozzarella sticks. But yeah, and then I have the oven on just the keep warm option, and I just keep them warm in the oven as I finish frying up all of these mozzarella sticks. And then you're going to want to eat them right away, of course, because, you know, they're not very good if you let them get too cold, you know, let's be honest. And then you could eat them either just by themselves, or you could serve them with a little marinara sauce, or maybe a little bit of ranch, you know, whatever you fancy is fine. So yeah, I'm just frying up the rest of these. This recipe turned out quite well, I must say. My daughter was really anxious to try these. She really wanted me to make this recipe, so that's why I'm doing this tutorial, is for her, because she really wanted to try these out. Because we love spinach dip, and I've made a casserole before with spinach dip too. I have it linked, and I forgot what it was called, but a spinach artichoke casserole or something like that. But I mean, in the wintertime, I love it as a dip. I love it with bread to dip in there. Yeah, it's really good. So anyway, I'm just getting ahead of myself here. So as you can see, look at, oh, they turned out so wonderful. I sprinkled just a little bit of salt on them. And here I'm giving them a try. And I'm impressed, actually. They turned out really well. Look, they're so cheesy. There's going to be a cheese pull moment in 3, 2, 1. Ooh, look at that. Yummy yum. And then the ones that are left over, I just put in the freezer, and we can enjoy them later. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, please. And please subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I will see you guys in the next video.